Good morning. Morning at NTV is where you're still at if you have just joined us. Thank you very much. Welcome to our Kickstarter conversation. And this morning, I told you earlier on that the 8th Rotary Castle Run is happening very soon. Why am I saying soon? It's happening next weekend on Sunday, the 25th of August 2019. And we're talking about cancer, which is one of the most common non-communicable disease and in the country. It is caused by different risk factors. This growing burden has prompted different stakeholders led by Rotarians in Uganda to mobilize funds for supporting government efforts towards treatment and prevention of cancers. One of the initiatives is the Rotary Castle Run that has now become an annual event on our calendars, and this year it is slated for the 25th of August 2019. And with me this morning to get the details is the chair medical team, Rotarian Dr. Richard Kalunji. I don't know which one you prefer, Rotarian or doctor?
Usually when you use one, you drop the other. So it's either or.
So we will use Rotarian today because we are talking about Rotary events.
Exactly.
So now don't bring your doctor, medical, whatever terms here. Anyway, I'm just joking. And of course, joining us as well is Miss Julie Chokunda, the chairperson, Rotary Castle Run 2019. Julie, thank you very much for joining us.
You're most welcome.
So now let's get into the details of the 8th Rotary Castle Run. Doctor, I'm going to begin with the chair, and then we'll get to you after that. The small people, you come after the big people. I've been taught recently, you small people. Julie, the 8th Castle Run. It's happening next week on Sunday. First of all, the beginning of the Rotary Castle Run. What informed the decision for the beginning? Because this is the 8th year. It's like a yearly routine for us. When Rotary Castle Run comes around, we are not shocked anymore. It's like, hey, it's time for it. What informed the decision for the Castle Run to begin?
First of all, it was a decision that was taken by just a few people, because they realized that almost every one of them was losing people at a rapid speed. Either a relative or a friend, someone they've known has passed on because of cancer. And one of the key things that were coming out was that these people could not even detect that they had cancer at an early stage, and they somehow get to know when it's in the 4th stage, and 2 months, 3 months down the road, they are no more. So what started as something very small, at first the Rotarians, led by Rotarian Stephen Mwanje, thought they would build a cancer ward and equip it, and perhaps in 1 year or 2 it would be done. And so the first cancer run attracted a few people, about 8,000, and then the second time it attracted about 15, and they started the construction of the ward. We finished it, it's now operational at 1.5 billion shillings. But then the need kept, increasing. Then the machines in Mulago started breaking down, and there is a need for alternatives, and every year something comes up. Now we are trying to run and build the 2 bunkers in Zambia, but the need is still increasing, because there is also a need now that we need to go regional and bring the services closer to the people after we have finished with the Zambia project. So every year something is coming up, an additional burden is being realized. I think the more you get into something, the more you get to understand it better, and that's what has happened to Rotary, and that's why every year we will keep running until we get those services closer to the people. Even after Zambia, we will continue to the regions.
So what is the ultimate objective of the Rotary Castle Run? Because you say every single year the demand keeps increasing, and that means that you have to fill that gap. But what is the ultimate project? At the end of the day, is there a dream that when we have covered this space it will stop, or is it something that will continue happening forever?
For now, in the short run, we want to build the 2 bunkers in Zambia and be able to equip them with the linear accelerator machines, where people can, one, get early diagnosis and then be able to get treatment if they are found with a disease. But in the long run, we want to be able to establish at least 2 other centers in the country, perhaps Fort Portal and then Arua, so that we bring the services closer to the people. So for now, that's where we are seeing. And we think that once people, first of all, we have doctors, the medical team on board. We are not only looking at diagnosis and treatment, we are also looking at how can we help the people actually learn to understand how they can avoid the cancer scourge. So it's a whole big program that involves training people, that involves diagnosis and treatment, that involves preventive strategies on how people can prevent, the cancer disease, because largely we have been told that it's because of their lifestyle.
Okay, doctor, every single year we keep talking about diseases. Of course, many people, we are Ugandans, we deal in numbers. But how big is the cancer scare in this country? The burden in Uganda when it comes to cancer, how big is it?
Thank you very much, David. Even before, at times when you talk of figures, people think those are those people. That's not me or my relative. But just to make it maybe to bring it into perspective, we now know that cancer is real. There have been talks in the past of cancer is witchcraft. The Bazungu want to finish us off or whatever, or maybe my co-wife is after me. But we now know that cancer is real, it's not witchcraft, and cancer is finishing us off as well as our relatives, like the chairperson has said. But then the other thing is that because cancer can affect each one of us, so when you talk of statistics, each one of us, like the 3 of us on this show today, can be a statistic tomorrow. And then the other thing, because cancer can affect each one of us and affect every part of our bodies, we are surely meant to be concerned and step up to do whatever it is to either prevent it, get it early and treat it. Because at times it's not just about the diagnosis. At times you can have a diagnosis which is wrong, or you can have a diagnosis which is right but when it is too late. For example, to talk of statistics, over 60% of the people in this country that are finally found to have cancer actually got late. So even if you have the diagnosis, at times you don't have much to do. And then you realize that cancer is not like, for example, malaria, where you test positive and you're given Coartem for maybe 3, 5, 7 days. For cancer, it's usually an association, or you bring so many things together to treat it. So, in a nutshell, what you're asking is to bring you up to speed. Last year alone, which is 2018, the Rotary Castle Run happened, and we raised funds to try and realize this dream. But last year, as we were doing this, over 30,000 people were found to have cancer. And these are only those that came to us. There are so many people out there that have cancer that either don't know that they have it or have it, but they have been advised otherwise by other people in the community and things like that. And to even bring it even more up to, maybe to bring it even further home, 20,000 people last year lost their lives to cancer, different forms of cancer. Like I've said, cancer affects every part of our body. But these 20,000, again, are only those that we know. There are perhaps so many people out there that died before they got an opportunity to reach a qualified medical personality. This is a country where everyone will claim to treat cancer, or everyone will claim to do so many things around preventing it or doing something like that. So the statistics that we have are maybe something like that, but the bigger picture is that all of us are potential statistics, and there is even so many numbers out there that perhaps we miss out on.
Okay, let's look at the previous years. Let's start with last year. How much were you able to raise with the Rotary Castle Run?
Last year, we managed to raise 708 million Uganda shillings. And the previous year, we raised 772 million shillings. We have now in our coffers 1.8 billion shillings, which we are going to use to start the construction. The groundbreaking took place a month ago at Zambia. But in total, we want 14.5 billion shillings.
We have been raising money for the last 8 years, and we have raised funds for specific causes. So this time around, what are the specifics? What are you raising the money for specifically?
This year we are, as I said, to build the 2 bunkers that we need. Someone can ask, why not 1? Why do you want to build 2 at the same time? We want to be able to put up 2 bunkers. You know, when someone is in the middle of this treatment, if anything happens to one machine, at least there should be another so that they don't have that break in their treatment. So that's why we want to put up 2 at the same time. As I said, the total amount of money we want is $4.5 million, which translates to 18.5 billion Uganda shillings. So last, as I said, in our coffers we have 1.8 billion Uganda shillings, and so this year we are targeting to raise about 1 billion shillings, and we will continue running and contributing and raising funds until we hit our target of 18.5 billion shillings for us to be able to finish fully the construction of the bunker. So this year, like last year, we are raising funds to build the bunkers, and we will continue raising, because as I said, we cannot raise all this money at the same time. We need a number of years of running and many people coming on board every year for us to be able to raise that trip.
Well, you are a big support now. You're doing work that should be for, let's say, Ministry of Health and the government. Are you getting any support from the ministry and the government on this?
First of all, I want to correct the impression that even people, the government is formed by the people, so we are part of the government. And yes, as we move around, we have a number of government agencies that we are working with. You know, even when we come to bringing the linear accelerators, and we have the Energy Atomic Council that is on board. We have the Ministry of Health that gives us support here and there when we need it. You cannot do anything in the country if they don't give you their support or their go-ahead. So yes, we are working with them. Different sections of government are supporting us in this.
Okay, Doctor, let's get the details of the Rotary Castle Run that is happening next Sunday, next week on Sunday. First of all, who is in line to participate in this, and what do they have to do to be part of it?
Of course, like I said, that we are all potential cancer patients. Everyone is welcome, from age 0 to I don't know how old.
As long as they can move.
You know the lifespan of this country has been going up and up. So today we see people living well beyond even 50, 60 years. So that's why we should even get more concerned, because these are some of the diseases that affect people in that age. So everyone is welcome, male, female, whether you're privileged to work on NTV like David or not, everyone is welcome. And it's going to happen in not only Kololo, but it's going to happen in so many other towns all over the country, and we have shared those lists. Jinja, Arua, Kasese, and so many other towns. So what happens is that you need only 25,000 to buy a ticket or to register. In the Rotary Castle Run, because it is a cause, we don't sell vests or bottles or capes. So let no one tell you, David, that I have this Rotary Castle Run bottle. So when you buy a ticket, you're in essence saying that I support your cause, or I've joined you. But maybe even before you register, it may not just stop at buying a ticket. You may say that, you know what, guys, I really think I associate a lot with your cause. I'm giving you 5 million. I'm giving you 10 million. I'm giving you, actually, we have a program where you pay 1 million and you become what we call a Rotary Castle Run champion. And we recognize you as such when the run comes. So the run is going to happen in all those towns. When you buy a ticket in Kampala, you may run from Gulu. You may buy a ticket in Arua, but run from Kololo. At 6 a.m., we shall be starting in all those towns at the same time. So all you need is you get your vest. When you buy a ticket, we give you a vest. So you come with your vest on that day, and together we shall run. The runs are in 5, 10, and 21 kilometers.
Okay. I need you to get the details of, us rich people, we want to contribute and stay home still. So how does one contribute and become a Rotary Castle Run champion?
Actually, when you want to pay any monies, or if you want to become a part, for example, we are trying to construct bunkers. Bunkers are buildings. Let people not get so confused by the terminologies. Bunkers are just buildings where these radio therapy machines are going to sit. So you may have a company as David, and then you say, I can construct those bunkers. So the best person to approach is our fundraising chair and the chairperson herself. But I think Chairperson Julie will give you the details. But before we go to her, I wanted to tell us that we are expecting over 50,000 runners this year. More reason we need people to join us. But the assurance is we have medical teams. Of course, if I'm a chairperson medical team, I'm a little bit biased to that kind of side. We have medical teams on board which are going to provide emergency services and first aid on all these activities, wherever you're going to be. We have teams like First Red Cross, which is all over the country. But even well before that, David, if you allow me, we say that there's the running itself, which is to create awareness. Then there's, of course, the cancer center in Zambia, which allows us to diagnose or screen and treat. But even before 25th, we are going to have two major events for screening for cancer. One is going to be at Ruvaga Hospital on Monday 19th, free of charge. The other one is going to be at Mengo Hospital on 22nd of August, again free of charge. So before Chairperson Julie even tells us how they can give us all the monies, let's ensure that whoever comes actually knows what cancer is and are even screened for it.
Thank you very much, Doctor. I was about to ask how safe we will be, because, you know, with running comes people who have been seated in offices for a very long time, and then suddenly they show up on Sunday. You see people collapsing.
Actually, we've been having practices even as near as the Independence Monument. We have practices every Tuesday and Thursday in the evening. But again, the other thing is you can practice from wherever you are. We usually tell people that exercise doesn't mean going to the gym. And we know that eating healthy, exercising are some of the things that reduce our risk of having some of these diseases. But again, to make it even more exciting, on the cancer run itself, we even conduct blood donation. In the beginning, people used to have fears, you're getting blood from people who have been running and whatever. But to show that we care well about the lives of people that are there, those that are not there, and those that will come in the future. Cancer treatment equally needs, for example, to have some bit of blood from, or to donate blood to people that may need it. So to show that we are taking people's lives very well seriously, we're even going to have blood donation. So when you come on Sunday, anywhere in the country, come ready to donate blood. Even on all those, on the two events that I've announced, on Monday at Ruvaga and on Wednesday at Mengo Hospital, we're again going to have blood donation. So, and even if you're David and you've really just been in office, if you collapse, we have a fully-fledged medical team to care for you if it can be handled at the airstrip. And if you really need to go to a hospital, we again evacuate you to that hospital. So let people not get worried about any injuries. We are trying actually to prevent them. But in the worst case scenario that they come, whether you're a child, whether you're an old person, we shall take care of you very well.
Okay, I can tell you that you stand warned. I am one that is going to faint, so just have someone next to me.
It's not 1 kilometers.
Julie, let's first of all, those details on one that wants to contribute a big sum so that they can become Rotary Castle Run champion. Just the details in a few minutes.
Perhaps quickly I can give my phone number. Okay. Because I know I can lead you to, I can guide you through. My phone number is 0703 408525. Okay. But we have a Rotary office on the 9th floor at NIC building. We also have registration centers in Lugogo at ShopRite, in Centenary Bank branches, Mapera and the others in Kampala. Wherever you find those people on the registration desks, they can give you information on the person that you can contact. So we are encouraging individual persons to come in and contribute, to come in and walk this journey with us, because we as Rotarians, we can do so much, but we need everyone to come on board.
Okay. Thank you very much. So let's get the details. Where is this happening for the people in the Kampala region?
The run?
Yes.
The run is taking place at Kololo Airstrip or Independence Grounds on the 25th of August. That will be Sunday. All are welcome. But we also have 41 other towns around the country where people can participate and run from.
Okay. Yeah.
You know, at times we talk about this and it's surprising how people don't understand what Rotary is. So fortunately, on all these runs where they're going to be, we're going to have a tent specifically dedicated for people to understand what Rotary is. So joining us is not by just giving us money or by running. Joining us is actually in a sense that we want you who is not a Rotarian to join us, because sometimes they say that you understand something better when you're in it. That's when you understand it better. So for us to understand what Rotary is and why we are doing this, not because we are so rich or because we have a lot of time to spare, but because it's a cause that resonates a lot with our values. When you come to run, as you ask for details on who do you give your contributions, please also ask what Rotary is, how do I join, and people will be eagerly waiting to take you through and walk you through the journey.
If people were reading my mind today, they would say I was in bed with Dr. Karungi, and not in the literal sense meanwhile. Because that was my next question, because being a Rotarian, I've been posing around this whole week with pins. I have like 3. Then suddenly on the day that I'm supposed to have them, I don't have them on my coat. So my president, Mr. Paul Mwesigu, I am very sorry. But I'm a Rotarian as well. And I wanted you just briefly to give details of who should be a Rotarian and why they should be a Rotarian. Because there's this thing that Ugandans have. For you to be a Rotarian, first of all, the beard has to be grey. You have to have a patch, and you have to be quite rich or wealthy. So I don't know if I am rich, but I know Dr. Karungi is not rich. So how did you get there?
I think we're only lucky that we have evidence in the studio. Because at least we know that you and I are not rich and we don't have any grey beards. But everyone, okay, I will not say everyone can be Rotarian, but Rotary is for people in the community who are ready to give of their time and resources. Of course, time is also a resource, if I think you go into physics or whatever. But anyone that can give of their time or resources to help the less privileged. Yes. You may find that even us that are here are less privileged in some ways. Actually, when we talk of health, we are almost all of us less privileged. Because you're going to get a bill for a transplant or cancer treatment tomorrow, which is $20,000 US, and you don't even have $1 in your pocket. So Rotarians come together to plan for that time. That when you come together, you work better. If you want to walk a longer journey, they say that you walk with other people. So everyone in society that is of high integrity and resonates with that kind of ideology can join us. So Rotary is largely for professionals and anyone with a useful occupation in the community, or community leaders. So even someone who doesn't really have an office, but is someone of that kind of caliber can join us.
Okay, thank you very much. If you've just joined us, that is Rotarian Richard Kalungi. You might know him as a doctor. Today he's not. He's taking up the Rotarian beat. He will become a doctor after the show or after the Council Run. And Miss Julie Chonkuda, the chairperson Rotary Castle Run 2019. So first of all, I need to throw these papers away. Just get yourself a Rotary Castle Run 2019 vest at only 25,000 Uganda shillings. 25,000 Uganda shillings, you get one. You can buy one for you and Shibubu. And being that it's Kololo, they call it what now? Kololo Independence Grounds. It is a very, very big space. So the side chick can also get one. They will be on the other gate, and the children for side chick can also get. Of course, Madame Nambemu can also get a vest, and everyone, even the maid, bring the maid to run. You don't want people collapsing in your house because they haven't run for 12 months. This is an opportunity for them to collapse when the doctors are there to attend to them. So bring everyone, all the neighbors, inform them. Just 25,000 Uganda shillings, you get yourself a Rotary Castle Run 2019 vest, and let's run for a good cause, and let's contribute to the health sector in this country by just contributing 25,000 Uganda shillings, and that will be on the 25th of August. That is next week on Sunday. For the people that are watching from the east or west or north,
branches and buy tickets.
Actually, you could Centenary Bank, just walk in, buy yourself a ticket, get yourself a vest, and let's run for a good cause. On that note, thank you very much, Dr. Rotarian Kalunji, for joining us this morning. And thank you very much, Shuli. We wish you all the best, but I still remind you, please, tell all the doctors around to remember this face. I am surely going to be one of the people collapsing.
Parliamentarians are also going through. Parliamentarians have given us $1 million per member of parliament.
Oh, really?
So they are all going to be at Kololo, and I know if you are parliamentarians, you surely can't play around with their lives as well.
Yeah, because I have my issues with parliamentarians. I think this is the opportunity to meet them as well and share all that. Anyway, thank you very much for joining us this morning. Best of luck, and we'll have you back hopefully after the run so that we can get the details if we have raised the money that we wanted to raise. If not, I will top up. Yeah. Rotarian style. Anyway, that's it for our Kickstarter conversation. Just a last reminder: 25,000 shillings, you get yourself a Council Rotary Run 2019 vest like this, and you'll be able to participate. And not forget, all ages are welcome, and you can even walk if you can't run. You can just walk, but let's come and do that for a good cause. Morning at NTV continues. We'll be back with our Tech Note conversation.